Yo, 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 you tuning into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D.Spill, with my co-host who's back.
Huh? Jelani Evans, what's going on?
What's going on, brother? It's a
Oh
different
man,
this is different
some
boss talk.
relaxing.
It's a different boss talk style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in the office.
Yeah, you in the is that the 49th or 50th floor?
50th, we only do the top.
We take it to the max.
Yeah, you already know. I
Yeah,
like
so
to look down on people.
so how you been, man? Let the people know how you been and what you've
uh,
been up to.
I've been blessed, man. I've been chilling. Took a slight hiatus from the business, shut down services, so I've been taking some time for me to um restructure things and clean my own shoes for a change and work on some other projects. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have too many irons in the fire and spread myself thin. So I just been taking it one day at a time and putting it together. Life's been good though. I can't complain.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
How you
Well,
feeling? How you living?
you know how it is, man. It's a war every day with these toddlers and putting out this content and then all of this drama, you know what I'm saying? And then trying to find some I feel like Boss Talk episodes are more geared towards kind of productivity, and with all the unproductive hatred going on social media and politics, I think these kind of episodes are so necessary. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. I've been doing my best to disconnect from social media, man. They're perpetuating the wrong stuff on there. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of
absolutely.
ignorance is going on back and forth, so I try not to engage.
Yeah, I agree. The minute I can afford someone to control my social media pages will be a great day. Like,
You
you posted
know,
that? I'm like, well,
uh,
technically I didn't. I don't.
there was something I heard from a business savvy individual who has kind of he does something similar to what I see that you do, but he took it a step further, and he has so much content ready to go,
Hmm.
and he scheduled it. Everything is scheduled. All his posts are scheduled. Certain things drop on certain days, certain topics, certain things to the point where it's like if he gets on social media and he puts stuff to post, he's already 1, 2 weeks out scheduling what's gonna post, giving him a chance to kind of disconnect from social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that
that's
might
kind of
be
the
something that you
benefit
want to look
of
into.
pre-recorded content. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a niche where it's not about following current events or anything, it's just about people following you. Oh, bro, you could book stuff out weeks in advance.
It is crazy that you say that because he's an artist. He does music, so it works better for him.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna give him any free publicity, but he's doing numbers.
yeah, yeah. I can imagine, and that concept is different than everyone else, so it makes them stand out. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah, you
man.
know what I'm saying? Like, man,
I
yeah, but current events, things being dated,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's a little bit more challenging, but
To
whatever.
say the least, I'm being modest. It's
so
difficult. It's hard, guys.
so I know it's been a minute, but we got to talk about it, and it's kind of been news for a while. But I'm pretty sure our listeners will want to hear our take on it. So JayZ and Nas both threw a bid out in New York for a casino. Nas was
What,
approved. JayZ's was
you
declined, and
know,
hip hop immediately turned it into Takeover versus Ether. When I think it's our expertise to break down what happened and why it happened that way.
the crazy thing is, of course, hip hop and certain blogs will put it out there like that, but
Right.
at the end of the day, there are two investors that are partnered with different companies that
Right.
are putting proposals out. Excuse me, putting proposals out there for casinos
Right.
in different areas,
Right.
and they're both part of two different groups and things that are going on. So it's not so much a Jay Z versus Nas as it just so happened that they are both pursuing things along the same lines, and one got approved where one didn't.
Right.
Um, I almost feel like the proposal with Jay Z's was a little. um, a little bit much.
It it was definitely you were definitely trying to hit a home run on the first swing because of location. I think that was the biggest part was location.
You know, something that I did read though, that kind of stood out to me because part of the reason that the proposal JayZ was a part of, the reason that it got denied was because of certain businesses and other entities surrounding the area, whereas it spoke on how Nas and his partners and other people attached to that project had made friends and connections with other businesses and entities in the area that
Right.
ended up backing them. So it
Right.
sounds almost like where Nas was making friends, JayZ was trying to step on toes, and I say that so that you can kind of it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
him himself, you know, but you get what I'm saying. Those two different entities, those groups, those investors, so it seems like they went different routes trying to make things happen and come together. And you already know if you get people on your side in the area to back you, things flow a lot smoother. You get those votes in your favors where it was like, I think they said only two voted in the positive for the venture JayZ was a part of,
Right.
whereas with Nas, it was unanimous.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Yep.
And so, you know, shake hands, make friends, you get along, you know, you move faster.
And JayZ knows that formula because you got to think, he was a huge part, if not the main part, of getting the Nets to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And with him being from Brooklyn, him being a basically an ambassador, if you will, of Brooklyn, just like Nas is an ambassador of Queens, you're already making you already have a relationship and a reputation with the locals because that's your home soil. You know what I'm saying? And so it's almost
Exactly.
like, you know, you got to kind of and to me, I think that's a good lesson to learn, for any business owners, right? You if you want to set up shop somewhere, say you want to do something, it's probably good to make friends or get acquainted with people within the vicinity. You know what I'm saying? Get familiar with you and then get down with what you do and even do a couple favors here and there to build a reputation and show some character. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
100%.
yeah.
100%. I feel like in a sense, I don't know, it kind of came across like it sounds like the venture JayZ was a part of it. Almost sound like they kind of blindsided the surrounding area and the people with what they were trying to do in
Uh,
the not the lavishness of it, but the size of it. They were trying to do a lot, and then
right.
like it even said something like an exclusive hotel within a hotel, and you got to think about the area that they're in and the type of traffic that can bring that. All of it won't be positive. You got to think about the crime rate increasing because there's more people with money coming through there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How it can again step on toes of other projects, or I
Mhm.
said if they say it was like a record where the same theater where Lion King is on Broadway or something like that, like there's different things, variables that I don't think they truly took into account. So,
Yeah.
you know,
And then who knows how it'll affect businesses. If you have this casino and let's say you got Ruth's Chris and all these different things inside the casino where people can eat, that could affect the food places, that have been there for X amount of time or whoever their competitors are. Whatever's affiliated with
funny
the
you said
casino, they
that.
could have competitors.
Funny you say that because if I'm not mistaken, it was Hell's Kitchen that went against the JayZ venture as well,
Mm.
which is in that Times Square area,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So you say that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, why not be in accordance with them and like, hey, how about having a little small Hell's Kitchen inside of the casino? Maybe we can
Boom.
partner up. We can,
Yep.
you get what I'm saying? So then it's like if people at the hotel, the casino, don't want to travel out, well, you could just go downstairs and there's a Hell's Kitchen right over there, and there's a you know what I'm saying? Like I
Right.
feel like there's a way that they could have finessed it and made it work for everybody.
Right.
But when you only think about yourself and what it is you're trying to create, that happens. And
Yeah.
then on
You
top of
got to
that,
give
I
them
feel like
incentive too.
100%. I also feel like with it being in different locations, the location that Nas's venture group is trying to be a part of, I feel like that's a better location. And they're not trying to do it as extravagant. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? It's a little more low key, and so it just seemed to work in their favor. But of course, Nas versus JayZ, Ether takeover. Oh my gosh, it's like, bruh, stop it.
If anything, that by at least one of them getting in, they can he can most likely share some game or some insight like, hey, this is this is the direction we went, or try going with this group, or just because I think in our culture, in our culture, we have this thing where it's like we don't look at it as a win for all of us if that one person won, or the person that you're not really fond of winning. But you got to understand, now you have somebody on the inside that can give you insight on how it's done, and what they're thinking and what's going on, so then you can take that information and run with the ball in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, even if you can't really like get the conversation with them, take notes, see
For
how they
sure.
move.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a couple different ways it could play out, but yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be if one of us win, we all win. But everybody don't see it like that. Everybody wants to put us in competition or see each other as competition, which is part of the reason why we all can't grow and be unified because we rather compete than collaborate. You know what they say?
Yeah.
There's competition at the bottom, there's collaboration at the top.
Yep. Yeah. That's true. A lot of people need to get that. But yeah, man, I'm confident that JayZ he's gonna have some up his sleeve. That ain't gonna be the end of that. They'll probably double back
Nah,
again.
nah.
He'll eventually get it. You'd be crazy to think otherwise, just based off of the success he's had with all the other things he's been doing. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
mean, restructure the plan, possibly find a different location, or what I'm saying, not necessarily. I don't want to say grease palms, but shake hands, make friends, man, and see how you can put it together and coordinate something that works in everybody's favor, so that everybody can win.
yeah, for sure. I might throw another topic I wanted to holler at you about for just a few minutes later on, but yeah,
Uh-oh.
I agree. But speaking of money and more entertainment news, there's been some conversation with a Bad Bunny headlining the Super Bowl. Got a lot of people pissed off. A lot of true hard hard body Americans. You know what I'm saying? Football lovers. They are pissed.
I was hoping that he performed at the Super Bowl and did the whole Super Bowl in Spanish. That would have been dope.
Well, I think that's what the issue is, because I've never heard anything he's done in English.
I've never heard anything he's done.
I've heard on the way home, late night radio, his music has came on, but like I said, it's in Spanish. But I think even myself, before I started doing some homework, I was even confused by, like, well, what value is that going to bring to the event, especially if he does do a whole bunch of stuff in
Um,
in Spanish, and the majority of the audience, you know what I'm saying,
it
speaks
has something
English.
to do with wanting to go international, bringing in a
Hmm.
different type of audience, also appealing to the younger audience, the younger generation, right?
True.
So, he's from Puerto Rico,
Right.
and he's the number one streaming artist right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And so he's extremely popular with Hispanic, Latino, Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying, um, and the younger generation as well. So if you can get him to perform, then even if you don't get everybody tuning in for all of Super Bowl, you get everybody tuning in for the Super Bowl performance, which will increase in numbers. You feel me? The ratings go up, and then it kind of opens you up to more possibilities, I would think.
Yeah, I definitely would agree. I think that was like 100% business move, and you got to think the fact that the NFL is always trying to get more reach by having games in, like, Scotland and
Mexico
London, all
City,
these
yeah,
different
all these different
countries.
places.
So if anything, he's gonna bring more eyes on the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exposure, more attention, more people
Yeah.
that actually might pay attention now because it's like, oh, okay, well, they're trying to appeal to us as well. Let's check out a few more games. Let's start tuning in. You never know where it could go from
Right. Right. So as far as business wise, I think it's a smart economical decision. I think as far as biased ears and entertainment, people are just, but we do this every year, right? People will see the headliner for the halftime show and they're pissed, but yet they're going to still tune in to see how good or bad of a
there.
show
Of
it is.
course, you
And
gotta have something to hate on, right?
yeah, But the crazy thing is before we got into the episode, I did watch a clip of DJ Khaled on um the Joe and Jada podcast, and they were talking
Hmm.
about Bad Bunny headlining the Super Bowl, and DJ Khaled said his shows live performances are actually insane. He said it's like a mixture of everything. He said it's in his top 5 favorite concerts he's ever been to in his whole entire existence.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Something else
But I
that I
mean, if
heard
he's the
though
number
is
one
that
streaming artist, he's doing something right.
right, you know, part of the reason I heard that they didn't want him there was because he kind of goes against the status quo.
Uh-huh.
He's unorthodox,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, to put it nicely. And so
It's not like
they feel
I mean,
like
we haven't seen that before at the Super Bowl.
they feel like there's some he might get on the live stage and kind of wild out with, you know what I'm saying, the meaning behind his show. Because I mean, like you remember Beyonce in 2016 with the Black Panther theme performance, right?
Right.
Okay, and so there was I don't remember what year it was, but there was an incident with Janet Jackson,
Oh
getting
yeah,
caught.
that the accident.
Um,
Yeah.
right. But there's been certain things, you know what I'm saying, that have happened where it kind of like turned off, you know, those who tune in, like you said, the Americans, those
Yeah.
individuals who operate and think a certain way that are more closed-minded. So they were a little
This is football.
intimidated by what he could possibly um, influence with his performance or the type of message that could come across from how he performed what he did on stage and things of that nature. So yeah, they didn't really want him. It was a divide. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some people who
Oh
wanted
yeah.
him, and there's people who didn't. It was just kind of like going back and forth, and they were saying something along the lines of like the NFL is trying to gain exposure in the short run, but in the long run could damage their overall image, which I thought was kind of wild.
Yeah. I don't because for me, when people get overcritical on these artists and what they're afraid that they're going to do on stage, these artists have always put a message in front of the biggest audience in a clever way. Michael Jackson's done it. You know, we've seen what Kendrick did, right? Um, it's been like that. Even when it's female headliners, you know, there'll be something about probably women's empowerment, right? Or you know, just whatever movement is going on at the time. You got to think when the Me Too movement first spawned, it was everywhere. People did everything they could to kind of slide that message in there. You know what I'm saying? Not so much of the Me Too, but the little slogans like "Time is up" and things like that. And then eventually it fizzles out. I also think that we're in a lot of turmoil politically, right? With the whole left wing, right wing thing. So if an artist represents, you know, the minority as far as in who has the loudest voice, what ends up happening is now everything is centered around that, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So if he,
yeah,
like for example, I know that there's been allegations about Bad Bunny, like, you know, swinging the door, swinging both ways, right? So you got to think of what they connect that to. They connect that to a certain political agenda. So now that the other political agenda is saying, well, look, they're pushing this
bruh.
on us, they're pushing this on us. And so I think that's the other reason, outside of not being able to understand his
That's a
lyrics.
far reach though, man.
Man, they reaching. I've seen it. And because I'm gonna keep it real with you about this. And I don't want to get too much on the political thing because this is a boss talk episode, but there are specific individuals from a specific group that get upset about these things regarding the halftime show that give me the feeling that they represent a political group. So that's me saying a whole lot of nothing and saying a lot. You know what I mean? But I know you gonna understand.
Listen, I get what you're saying.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. And the thing about it, you said it at the beginning of the topic. I think it's more about the economic aspect, the money that can be brought in.
Right.
Because
Oh,
I mean,
that
like,
will be brought in for sure. The ratings will
yeah,
probably be
well, all right,
insane.
and then because let's talk about it. We said he's the number one streaming artist. He
Hmm.
just had a residency in Puerto Rico, 30-day tour or 30 shows. I
Right.
think it was 30 shows.
30 shows.
Um, and they were talking about him generating like 250, was it 250 million? But
Yeah.
overall, because of purchases and and a lot of other stuff, not even solely pertaining to the events or the shows, but also just in tourism and everything else, looking something like 400 million.
Basically lifting the economy. That's crazy.
That's a lot.
That's
That's a
almost half
lot
a
of
billion.
money. That's a lot of money. So to
Right.
think that, if he can generate that because of the type of reach or influence he has with his music and his shows, to have him on one of the biggest stages for one of the biggest football, games
Biggest,
there
yeah,
that
biggest
exist.
sport days in
The
the
biggest.
country.
One of the exactly, and you got to think about how much time and how much money is spent just on ad space. So
Oh
think
yeah.
about how many people will be tuned in and how many more will tune in because of him.
Hmm.
Like, bro, the numbers could
Oh, this
skyrocket.
is probably
And
one of
he
the Super Bowls where you should be getting a decent ad space because of the audience he's going to bring alone. These are
the
going to be people that never
exposure
watch
alone,
football, you know?
and that's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
so I think that they took that into account, but there was so much um, pushback
Hmm.
that they had to pull him, which is kind of crazy. Because he's the first artist they've ever pulled.
Hmm. That's
They
interesting.
done had Snoop up there, cuz. Didn't he have on all blue rag outfit?
Yeah. And he was crip walking
Yeah.
and he was throwing up signs. They broke several rules that they gave them for the Super Bowl. But they should have known Snoop and Dre. Come on, they don't follow, and they're in LA.
I think, I think Snoop was smoking weed on stage. I know, I saw
Yeah, he
smoke.
probably
It
was.
wasn't from no animatronics or no, nah, I saw smoke.
I saw smoke. Speaking of smoke, bro,
Yeah.
um, the hometown. We got to talk about the hometown for a minute with Sacramento giving the green light for cannabis cafes. Now, I've heard of these cafes being out in LA, but what do you think about that? Like, you know, you've had a
Horrible.
huh? Think it's
Horrible.
horrible?
Yeah.
I think it's
What you
economical.
thought I was gonna say?
I thought you was
To an
gonna be like,
extent.
man, now y'all want to do all of this stuff.
Nah, I don't care. I think it's horrible. Like the thing, because at the end of the day, I look at it like this, and this is maybe because I'm older now, and this is how I used to operate when I indulged. But bro, I smoke my weed at home,
Hmm.
right? I don't wanna like, so I go to a cafe, and,
People are
get
bothering you.
loaded and all this stuff. I'm right, y'all hella loud, blowing my high, and then I gotta drive home.
People arguing.
So now you got all these intoxicated people on the road. You see where I'm going with this? Like, yo, so you're gonna put it downtown, right? And then you're just gonna have the cops on every other corner catching people running red lights, stopping late, sitting at lights too long because they didn't realize it changed.
Stopping at green
Like beep
lights.
beep, bruh, stopping at stop sign, waiting for them to turn green. You know what I'm saying? Like it just, I don't, it just, I don't, cause I'm, nah, I don't. I mean, like it's cool,
Yeah.
you know, if you guys want to go to the cafes and smoke around other people. I don't even understand that. But hey, that's cool, man. But it just I don't really see the benefit of it. I mean, I guess from
I
a
think
economical standpoint, it's something else that they can tax and get money out of.
I think if a business owner is smart, they'll do maybe kind of like a upscale cafe to weed away a certain no pun intended, weed away a certain crowd. You know what I'm saying? Um, I
I
think if
get
it's
that,
yeah,
but the crowd that almost would be like, why not? Is also the same type of crowd that like, I'd rather smoke at home.
That's true. I've
You
seen,
see what I'm saying?
I didn't realize there were different type of smokers when I went to, when I went to the Colts and Rams game, right? Um,
Hmm.
my boy Jarris was introducing me to, his friends he had out there. Some cool white boys, man, hella chill. And then, there's a point in time where they pull out the indulgence, right? Bro, this dude's joint was so thin. I was like, what is he smoking? And it was like a pre roll in the shape of remember the candy cigarettes? A
Hmm.
third of the size of a candy cigarette, the length of it, and it was just out there puffing. Bro, I there's no way he got high or
Skinny,
buzzed.
super skinny.
Bro.
The thing about it, so this is the thing, right? You don't know that because everybody has a different type of tolerance, right?
Yeah. I
And
just never,
so,
in our culture, they be the size of atom bombs and missiles and stuff like that when
well,
somebody's
all right,
rolling out.
so two things about it, right? There's two reasons for that as well.
Right.
One, your tree ain't really him, so you need a whole lot to get you where you're going.
I've heard you say that before.
Two,
Yeah.
your indulgence is really high, so you need a whole lot to get you where you're going. And that's somebody who used to partake. I will roll them a nice size and I'm smoking power, but I need a nice amount because my tolerance is so
Yeah,
high.
because your tolerance, yeah.
You
Well,
get what I'm saying? But
yeah, that
all in the
makes
same
sense.
breath, when I get to where I'm going, I don't want to have to go nowhere else. So being
Hey,
lit at
point
a
on why you want to
cafe
do it at
is
home.
exactly, but because there's a certain level of freedom in being able to relax when you're at home, right?
True.
You go out to a cafe and it's just like, am I going? So do I have to purchase my tree at the cafe? And then after I purchase it, I'm allowed to smoke there and lounge around other stoners, or I can go home. Like I just don't.
When you said
In my
how
experience,
crazy the driving would be, I was like, yeah, he has a good point, and I immediately thought of that ATL clip.
yeah,
That ATL clip I sent you, where dude was like, "Yeah, man, remember that time he almost hit them with the invisible car? He had no invisible car." And then it goes to the scene where two people are sitting there floating in an invisible car, hitting people down the street. Uh, because I'm like, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like people going to a cafe is, but at the same time, people do that at bars. You know what I'm saying? But the
hey,
thing with when people are
but
high
the
and
thing
people are
about it,
drunk is two totally different ignorance
and check
that's
this out
happening.
though, right? Alcohol is social. Well, marijuana doesn't really strike you as a social, does it?
You know what? Yes and no. And I'm gonna tell you why I say yes and no. I feel like our age and older is no. I don't. You go over there, like I don't even see too many people pass the tree around, right? But
I
young
don't.
people, they seem like overly excited, like they stole their tree from their parents and they're hiding in the backyard, so they are a little bit more energetic about it versus us being antisocial.
Man, man, everybody I know, and even when I was younger though, like I wasn't into sharing. You had to be my people, like you know what I'm saying.
I wasn't sharing.
And depending on who you was, it was still kind of an issue because it was almost like, no, I'm not. You don't never got your own. No, you can't. You don't never bring nothing around, but the tools to roll it in. Why you don't have nothing to roll?
Right.
No, I'm not sharing with you. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and then on top of that, just like that's kind of like an intimate thing to sit here and smoke with somebody and share. You know what I'm saying? It ain't
True.
like having a drink with somebody. You can drink with anybody. You can have a drink at the game with another Colts fan. Don't even know. Like, hey, yeah, touchdown. You ain't gonna be like touchdown. You feel me? Like, nah,
What make
no,
what makes
no.
that funny to me is that's exactly what my experience was when I was there. We was hey,
You know what I'm saying?
we were best friends that were never gonna see each other again.
Ever. Have a cold one. Have a brewski. You're a Colts fan? Who's your favorite player? How long you been a fan? Okay, he's solid. Yeah, give him a beer. You want some of this steak? Like it hit different. Yeah, we're grilling. You
Yeah,
want a burger? Like,
right.
bro, that it don't man, nah. Most of the people I know that indulge in marijuana are stingy. Like,
This is
bro.
true.
And then especially if you buy it at a club or a cafe, you know how much they charge you? You
Oh,
think I'm
bro.
finna you gonna have to drop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real rap. Yeah,
Here, take
it's
my
very
cash out. Cause
yeah.
you're gonna have to what? So I mean, shout out to them getting approval and it being something for people to partake in. That's cool. From a business perspective, like I said, you feel me? You can capitalize on it. Do your thing. I just don't really see how beneficial it'll be for the public. I guess you could say
Yeah, I think it's one of those.
because
It's one of those same.
most
It's
people
one
they
of those
prefer
same
to
things
smoke in
where
private.
it's financial. It's financially beneficial for the city's going to get their. They're going to get their
The city
massive
gonna get
cut.
their tax and their fees off of it. Hundred
Yeah,
percent.
and then
100%.
and
And
then
then
later.
whoever's lucky enough to actually have a location and stock it the way that they want to, they'll benefit from being able to capitalize off of that. But it's just like the type of people that will want to be in a place like that are the type of people that you want in your businesses for the most part.
Absolutely.
Because I'm thinking about the young life, the 18 and older, right? Because you can smoke at 18, right?
Right.
So the 18 and up who are also rambunctious, um, somewhat disrespectful, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, slightly aggressive. And the thing about it is like smokers aren't aggressive. These young ones kinda are.
Yeah, they are.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
they
saying? So it's
are.
just like the type of people that it would appeal to aren't really the type of people that you really want as patrons.
True.
I say 50-50, right?
True.
And then the people that you really want to appeal to, that you like, they're gonna come in here, they'll be laid back, they're gonna spend their money. Bro, we're gonna stay at home and get high. We're not coming out
Yeah, I'm
there.
not. I'm
We don't
not
even
doing
see the
all
point
that.
of that.
I'm not doing all that. Man, I
Bro,
just went grocery
I don't
shopping.
like
Food
driving
is right
places
here.
sober. I don't like driving places sober. You want me to go somewhere and get loaded and then drive home? That seems like more of a. I'm gonna blow my high
Yo,
trying not to
this
look high on the road.
that sounds
You
like a.
know,
Hey, it really sounds like a dare. It's
bruh, we're not doing that. We're not doing
nah,
that.
for real,
Get
man.
to the parking lot, forget where I parked because I'm high. No, I'm not
Right.
doing that.
Opening
No.
the wrong car with your key.
Standing at the door. I know this is. Oh, you got one of these too? Of course. You're not the only one with that car. Come on,
You
think.
stop making them when you
No.
got yours.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, man. Look,
that's
before
my
we get
Buick.
out of here, I definitely wanted to talk to you about this one because you're this is definitely down your alley. But the whole situation with the Cool Kicks, man. You sent me this info, and I was like,
So,
wow. Do you want to break
is
down on what actually
the
came
crazy
about?
thing is, I do not know. To be honest, I sent you this because I saw. First of all, I saw something that said "Cool Kicks owner gets arrested," and
Right.
I saw like platforms of shoes shrink wrapped, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
what did he do?
Mm.
Like, is he? Because the only way I feel like this could be an issue is if he's selling counterfeits, right?
Hmm.
Or his stock is stolen. But
Well,
if it's neither
I
of
know
those,
that I
right?
know that their show got ran down. Or show. There's one of their stores got ran down and people stole from them. But I got the info right here. So it says he was arrested on the 2nd during an LAPD raid in the warehouse in Santa Monica. The details so far says he was booked on felony charges tied to alleged receipt of stolen property valued over $950 and or fraud related offenses.
Nine
So
hundred and fifty dollars.
let me keep going because maybe it's just it needs to get more spicy. The raid and arrest actually happened while Cool Kicks was live streaming a sale on Whatnot. At first, Shams thought it was a prank or swatting, right? He was released on his own on it. Wait, what does this say? I don't know. Scheduled to appear in court on the 23rd. CoolKicks responded with a statement saying they purchased the alleged stolen sneakers in good faith and had no knowledge they were stolen. So, what kicks were stolen that had people running down on you? I think that's the main question.
You said $950, right?
Yeah.
Not 950,000, not 9,500, like $950,
Yeah.
bro. Like, and then on top of that, like, how do you know he knows it was stolen? Like, I'm gonna be honest
Why are
with
you
you.
getting
And
ran
the
down?
shoe,
Why is anybody running down on you?
$950 for
Unless,
shoes. And the thing about it is this, bro. You know what's crazy? That could have been one pair of shoes. I
mm-hmm,
got at least three pair of shoes in my collection right now that are worth more than that.
right.
Okay. And
So
so
some don't seem
um
right.
it doesn't add up. It just doesn't make sense because it's like, okay, I bought a pair of shoes or two that were
Mm-hmm,
stolen. How am I supposed to know? In most cases, they're not really even checking for receipts anymore, right? Because that used to be a big thing back in the day when I was really in the shoe game, heavy selling and trading. Do
right.
you have the receipts? Do you have proof of purchase, right?
Right.
Because that also helped with validating that the shoes were authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Now people are selling shoes without the box. So it doesn't really matter. So how is he supposed to know the shoes are fake? And first of all, how do y'all know? Like you get what I'm
True.
saying? Like how do y'all know? Like who reported the shoes? Like do y'all have a bug or a
I
tag on the
think it
shoes or
sounds like somebody
y'all
is sounds like somebody's like that he knows or he's connected to is trying to line him up because LAPD has a lot more bigger problems in LA than some kicks that's around 950.
bruh,
And
like I'm like
there's probably more things to the more details to the story too because that's just weird. It don't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
like and I'm just how did you track them? And if the whole thing is how did you track him? And if you know he bought stolen property, where's the person who was selling said stolen property? Y'all didn't catch them? You
Because
don't know about them, but you know
right,
about the person that bought it? That
right.
seems a little sketchy to
Yeah, it's
me.
really sketchy when you break it down like that.
That just really doesn't make sense to me. So it just the whole story is kind of like I thought it was interesting because we're familiar with Cool Kicks, so to
Mm-hmm.
see the owner get arrested, you would have thought it would have been something heavy, right? Like
Right,
I
right,
said,
right.
like if he had like a whole like shipment, right, that had been stolen from like a Nike truck or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
or
yeah.
a different
I mean, that could be a thing.
shoe
Maybe a
store
Nike truck got
or a
hit.
resale store got broken into and they're
Yeah.
missing stock and all of a sudden this dude pops up and he got the same type of shoes that happen to be missing from their stock, or if he were selling counterfeit fake shoes, that these situations would make sense. But to
Hmm.
be like he bought stolen property $950, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know?
These are the questions. These are the real questions we need answers
I
to.
call cabs. That's BS, bro.
Right.
I stand with him. He did nothing wrong because
Yeah.
he didn't know it
Based
was
off what
stolen
I
property. And
read,
if
yeah,
he
that's I've yeah.
that don't make sense. He didn't know it was stolen property. And if you guys know it was stolen property, then why don't you have the person who sold it in custody? Why you're arrested the person who bought it like he knew it willingly?
Yeah.
Now if he put
That's what
together
makes it sounds
a
like it's something
situation.
deeper they're trying to execute. You know what I
You see what
mean?
I'm saying? Now, if he put it together to make the situation happen to where, okay, you steal the shoes and I'm gonna buy them from you, then that means that he masterminds something that would
Yeah.
hit different. But bro,
Which would be
I'm gonna
weird
be honest.
over if you're a store owner to do something over
That's what
900.
I was just about to say. But that wouldn't even make sense when you're doing numbers like that regularly. You be like, bro, if I can't get them legit, I'm not even gonna worry about it. It's almost a waste of time to invest that type of energy into something so small
True.
potato, so frivolous. So like, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't, no, I don't agree. I don't
Yeah,
agree.
it's a weird
Cap.
one. It's a weird one, man. But anyways, brother, I guess we'll as stories develop, we'll see. But anyways, man, we finna we finna
All this in the next. on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. You know, we'll figure it out. We'll
We gotta
figure
have
it
the
out.
you gotta have the narrator list all of the problems from the that he'll have to deal with on the next episode. That's usually how it went.
Man, man, because that's wild. That don't even add up.
Yeah, it doesn't. Literally does not add up. But anyways, man,
Bro, what?
we finna get out of here, man. You've been tuning in to the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D.Spill, with my co-host.
Jelani Evans.
And been tuning in to Boss Talk, man. Until next time, peace.